Gamers Table Independent Edition.
We're doing 2 games today, not just one.
We're reviewing Wind Power.
Oh, I think I just broke it.
Wind Power is a very nice looking game. The artwork on the cards and everything is terrific. You probably can't see it here, but you'll see it in Compono Vision.
The goal is to have the most wind blowing into your windmills at game's end. That's it.
There you go.
How do you play?
If you were to go today and buy a copy of the game, you'd get those rules that don't quite explain how to play the game. Explains all the cards do and how you would lay them. It doesn't say play 1 card per turn. 1 sentence.
Okay, what we have in the setup is each player begins with the 3 windmills of a single style.
There's one style.
And you'll find another style.
And there's the green one. I wonder how good that shows up. Red one. And the purple one. So you could play this 4 players.
Yes.
4 players.
Then deal out all of the directional wind cards.
So,
How?
And these cards are placed
Like
into
that.
face-up piles by type.
That maybe explains it a little bit better. But after you've dealt these cards out, what do you do? Plays pretty well if you play it properly. Unfortunately, the rules are missing one critical step. And it's how many cards you're allowed to play on your turn. And the actual setup, too, is maybe a little confusing. What you do is give everyone an equal number of wind power cards and directional cards, and each person gets their complete set of windmills. So 1 color.
You keep them all face up. So everybody knows how many of each one the other players have left. You must place all of your windmills before you have only 2 cards left to play.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's freeform. On the table, try and set it up in a grid, but your cards can be this way or that way, however you like. Your windmills can be anywhere. They say put them in a fair arrangement.
You could stack a directional card on top of a wind card and a windmill card on top of a directional card, but there's nothing that can go above a windmill card. So the directional cards are essentially the player interaction in the game where you direct the wind away from players' windmills and maybe into yours.
Right. So as it actually plays, after Craig got a hold of the author, right? It's not a bad game. It's a simple abstract.
Refill.
Yeah,
Blow me.
if played properly, according to rules that are not actually included in the game, it's not too bad.
The artwork is nice on them.
Yes, the artwork is actually very nice, especially the particular windmill cards.
If you know how to play it, it is fun. There's a lot of player interaction as far as switching the wind around to either benefit your windmills or to hinder somebody else's. You don't need a weatherman. That's what it says.
So, the wind cards blow wind in one particular direction, and you aim them into your windmills. Like so, or like so, or like so, or like so, however way you want. Now, the more wind cards you have blowing in that direction, the more points this windmill is worth.
How much points is that worth?
Right now, it's worth 2. Now, if there was a second windmill, say another color on the other side of it, this one would get 1 because each windmill reduces the total wind going through it by 1.
It has the theme, it has ease of play, it's fairly fun to play. That's what you're looking for in a game.
It is Friday, and we're reviewing Diggity!
Yo.
Yo, diggity diggity.
Okay.
Diggity.
Diggity is a good little minor game. You know, it's fun. You're matching up symbols, laying down the track to get tools. And if you put match up the symbols for a miner, you can take a gold card.
Hold on.
Give him some room, man.
Okay.
There you go. Diggity is a fast-paced card game where you battle with other players to get the most gold out of the ground. Use your cards to build a mine while at the same time trying to construct or steal the mining tools you need to grab the gold before others do. You'll need to be clever to thwart others' plans and strike it rich.
You place cards in the mine. If you get a certain combination of symbols from the cards, you can gain a tool, or you can trigger the miner, which will bring a gold into play, at which point, if you're the one who plays the miner, then you get the first option of playing tools.
You get a big stack of mine cards. You get 4 reminder cards in case you can't remember how to make things. You get a stack of gold cards, and you get the tool. Not these guys. You know, tools you construct.
No. We
Hey,
stay
hey,
right
hey,
here
easy now. All right. This is a 2 to 4 player game, I believe. Yep.
I know, but you're constructing your mine, and you've got triangles, circles, lines, and squares, which make up different tools. And the last one, circle and triangle, make up a miner, which allows you to take a gold. But if you've got some of the tools, in order of the number of the tools, you fight over the gold. But you'll need those tools, and you have to play them in order, 1, 2, 3, and 4, to actually claim the gold. So if you have a 1 and 2, you can start off the process, but if somebody's got a 3 or 4 out there, they will get the gold if they choose to play those tools on. And that's how you score your points, is the gold.
So there's a lot of different strategy in this. There's strategy when you're laying down the mine cards to try and sometimes, especially for the mine card, which is probably one of the most difficult ones to get, to try and get it so, okay, I put it down so somebody else might get a mine card, but there's enough other connections that I can get one out of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also have to keep the track going. If you ever get a mine where all the track is closed off, all those cards are collected, that mine is closed. If nobody played a miner, start a new mine.
Just gets closed and the next player in line plays, starts off the new mine.
Yeah, trying to get the tools that you need to steal the gold away from other people or get them for yourself is the tricky part. You know, trying not to leave off and let someone else get another tool after you've laid your card down is where a lot of the strategy comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You get a tool. The tool cards are 1 per player. So if you're playing with 2 players, you have 2 sheds, 2 pulleys, 2 shovels, and 2 mine carts. Not necessarily in that order. Definitely not in that order. But
Definitely.
well, once you collect them from the center of the table, then if you make the set, you steal from the other player. So it's a lot of fun, especially when you're playing a 4-player game. It's like, no, steal his, no, steal his.
Yeah, if you get all 4 numbers of the cards, the tools there, you can just lay them all down at once. You don't have to play one at a time, and then you get the gold for sure.
Yeah, so if you play the circle and triangle to get a miner, you take one of the preset number of these cards. You could set however many cards you want. They suggest some levels, but you could say, if we want a really short game, we're only playing with 4 gold cards. That's all there is. And you take one, don't look at it, put it down there. Now you, as the guy who played the miner, have the first option to play 1 or more tools. If you must play them in the order and they're numbered. So you can play a shovel, then you can play a pulley, then you can play a cart, then you can play a shed.
Shed.
Now,
Show that one.
if you look around the table and everybody else has pulleys and above, but nobody has a shovel, you don't play any tools because you have to play them in order. If you don't play a shovel, nobody else can play their number 2 pulley. So the gold is mine. But you also look around the table and say, okay, if I play a shovel and a pulley, Chris has got the cart. He's going to take that gold if I do that. So if I just play the shovel, Ken's got a pulley and a cart. He's going to take it. Who do I want to give my gold to? Because I'm not getting it.
Yeah, because sometimes it
Yeah.
just comes to that, or you have to give it to someone. It's like, okay, who's got the least amount of gold cards? Who do I have the best chance of winning against? And it's like, okay, give it to him. I get rid of their tool card, so maybe next time around, I'll be able to get it.
Yeah, sometimes you might not want to bother putting that miner down if you know if the gold's not going to go to you at all. You just hopefully you can get some of those other tools that allow you, to get that gold in. That the cards and numbers that don't other people don't have. It didn't come out very well. No, they're
Tripping over your words
over
there.
my words, yeah.
Wrapping up for Wind Power.
I give Wind a 6 if you play by the way the designer intended. I give Wind a 2 if you go by the rules he supplied. This
Good.
game doesn't actually totally blow, other than the fact that the rules don't teach you how to play it properly. Once you figure it out that you play 1 card per turn, it is actually a pretty fun game. There's lots of player interaction in the sense that you can mess around with the other player by playing the directional cards to take the wind away from their windmill. And the game goes on, you just calculate how much wind power each player is going to their windmills, and whoever's got the highest total wins.
Once it's played properly, it's a pretty decent game. I'm going to give it a 6 because the artwork and the rules actually tell you how each card plays. There's some examples on there, and other than that, fault in the rules, it's not bad. But as it stands, what you buy, if you don't get a hold of the author or don't know who to contact, the game is unplayable because it doesn't tell you how many cards you're allowed to play on your turn, and the setup is a little tad confusing. So based on that, I'm going to have to give it a 3. But knowing that it's just one card, played per turn, and everything's face up, individual piles, everybody's got an equal number of cards. Once you figure that out, it's not a bad game. The artwork and everything on it is pretty good. The rules are, after that, one lack, I don't know.
Jumpstart.
The one misstep in the rules there. Anyway, it's just, it's all right.
As it stands, what you get in the box, I give Wind Power a 3. Now, having said that, after contacting the author and getting the rules clarified, I will give this a 7.
Theme? It's the theme about wind blowing around to windmills. Everything there is in the theme as much as the wind can be directed to blow in all those crazy directions. If you deal with that, okay, then the theme is there. Fun to play? Yeah, it is fairly fun to play. It's not a really stressful game until you get a lot of cards out there, and then everybody starts moving the wind around and just not getting... No, I don't want to play it there because it won't give him wind, but it will give him more wind, and everybody's got wind, and that's no good, and I don't want to do that. Easy to teach because there is, like I said, basically one sentence missing out of the rules.
Which is pretty key, though.
Yeah, you can't teach somebody how to play this game properly. You could sort of guess, but we all read these rules, and we couldn't figure out for sure how to play the game.
It's really not too much of a stretch to, guess at what you're supposed to do. But, it's a fault.
Very little needs to be added to these rules to make this game fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like basically if you're watching what you sent me an email, add that in here, and you're good to go. Because that cleared everything up for me.
Yes.
Right.
It's a simple, clean game when you know how to play it. I think a fun variation would actually play with an actual fan blowing at the table.
Whoa! All right, I just got a point there.
Everyone has a certain amount of pebbles they can use to hold down the cards.
Pain not included.
I'm rubbing it up.
No, we've already wrapped it up and gave our scores long ago.
Yes.
Wrapping
Anyway.
up for Diggity.
I give Diggity an 8. There's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of strategy, the way you maneuver the cards down. Like, you don't have to put the cards like that. You could stack them like that. It all depends on how the tracks line up on the card.
You just have to line up the track.
You just have to line up one section of tracks. So,
And
the original section of track.
The mine continues as long as there is one track that still leads out of the mine.
Well, yeah, if you've got 2 tracks on one card and only one track on the other one, as long as one of those lines up, you don't have to worry about both of them.
There's a good amount of strategy. There's a good amount of douchebaggery. So, yes. Very good game.
It's a very good game. I'm going to give it let's say a 6.5. I enjoy it. I liked it a lot better on subsequent plays. And the artwork and everything on it is good. The rules are pretty decent too.
The rules teach you how to play the game.
Yeah, I skimmed through it. And
Very well.
I picked it up pretty well. Craig basically read it earlier and explained it all to us, but it's pretty clear, solid. So.
I give Diggity an 8.
Theme. Digging for gold in a mine. Everything sticks with a theme. There's no hard parts about that. And making these cards just symbols means this is a game that's not language dependent. It doesn't matter what language you speak, it's just symbols. You can all figure that out.
Right.
Easy to teach. Yeah, as soon as somebody sits down, okay, you just match up the track on the things and use this to figure out what things you're getting for symbols and claim the gold. Claiming the gold is probably the most
This is the trickiest part of the game.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the language goes, the rules are just in English, aren't they?
Yeah, but
you could put the rules in German and still use the same cards and play it properly.
Yeah.
And fun to play? Oh, yes, it's fun to play, and it's fast. You've got, in 4-player, you've got 3 cards. by the time it gets you know what card you're going to play. It's not much. You know what I mean? There's decision making involved, but it doesn't take a lot of time.
It's
Well,
not
no,
like,
you know what you want to do until someone screws it up on you.
well, it's one
He's
of those.
not the only one. He's screwed me up several times.
This is the douchebaggery and the planar interaction that makes the game good.
Yeah.
Without that, whoa, wait, look, everyone's just building their own mind. What fun is that?
Yeah.
Everything is clearly explained to you. It's not difficult to figure out at all, which is what you're looking for in a rules document.
So that's it for this episode of the Gamers Table Independent Edition.
Diggity diggity.
Yo.
Yo.
Yeah, I was thinking like
What?
Buck Rogers in 24th.
Diggity,
I'm-
That's biggity biggity.
I'm
Instead of
thinking,
diggity diggity biggity biggity.
What's up, Buck?
I'm thinking Quagmire, but
Okay. Giggity, giggity. Wow, we're way out there.
This could go on for far too long.
See you later. Grab it.
What did I talk about? Wind power and diggity. Diggity down, diggity dig with you winter long.
Hello, it is Friday. Welcome to the Gamers Table Independent Edition. That was completely backwards, and I'll start over.